This previously unclean, malodorous liquid currently governs the global economy. We refer to it as crude oil. None of this crude oil is squandered. Fuels such as LPG gas, petrol, diesel. In summary, numerous aspects of our present civilization rely on this crude oil. The question now is, how is this crude oil or oil formed underground, along with gas and coal? Additionally, how is this oil or gas extracted? Today's video will cover various subjects related to crude oil. Crude oil or mineral oil. Its history of use is very old. About 4,000 years ago, in ancient Mesopotamia, mineral oil that naturally rose to the surface was used, especially vitamins, to build walls and prevent boat leaks. The ancient Egyptians used this oily substance to preserve mummies. In addition, mineral oil was also used as a medicine. Historically, evidence of the first shallow oil well excavation in China was found around 347 AD. The Chinese used to extract mineral oil by inserting bamboo pipes into the ground a little bit and then burning this oil to produce salt. The heat generated by burning the oil quickly evaporated the water in the salt. That is, salt was obtained in a relatively short time. Thus, over time, very limited quantities of minerals and oil were seen. However, the modern oil industry was born mainly in 1859 in Pennsylvania, America. The use of crude oil came to the fore mainly from the need to light houses at night. Fire has been used for lighting at night since ancient times, but the fire that was made by burning objects like wood did not produce enough light. In such a reality, people discovered that the oil in the body of animals, that is, the fire that is made from fat, produces enough bright light. For example, in North America, in such a situation, Abraham Gresner came forward in 1846. He discovered a method of producing liquid hydrocarbons from bituminous coal called albertite, and named the liquid kerosene, which produced a very bright and smokeless flame, and did not have the stench of whale oil. Gas is produced with crude oil, and the amount of gas produced depends on the temperature. Oil is produced when the temperature is between 60 and 120 degrees Celsius, and gas is produced when the temperature is above 120 degrees Celsius. On the other hand, oil is extracted in the same way that we bring groundwater up. The gas extraction method is also the same. Anyway, let's talk about how crude oil is separated into components like petrol, diesel, kerosene after extraction. If crude oil is heated to 30 degrees Celsius after extraction, the vapor that will be produced is LPG gas. It contains light hydrocarbons like propane and butane. We use this LPG gas for cooking. After all the gases are separated at 30 degrees Celsius, no more vapor will be produced. In such a case, if the temperature is increased from 30 to 120 degrees Celsius, vapor will start to be produced again. Now, if we collect this vapor and cool it, we will get petrol or gasoline. What is called petrol in Bangladesh, India, Europe is called gasoline in America and Canada. This petrol is used as fuel for light vehicles like cars and motorcycles. After collecting the petrol, the steam will stop being produced from the crude oil. In such a case, if the temperature is raised again to 120 to 180 degrees Celsius, the steam will start being produced again. As before, if we collect this steam and cool it, we will get naphtha. This naphtha is more used as a raw material in the chemical industry, as opposed to being used directly as fuel. This naphtha is needed to make many of our daily products. Any plastic such as polyethylene, PVC, plastic for making chairs, tabletops or buckets, that is polypropylene, PET plastic, is used to make Japanese bottles. These are all made mainly from naphtha. Polyester fabrics, nylon ropes, artificial yarns require naphtha to make these. Turpentine oil, that is white spirit, dry cleaning fluid which is used to clean expensive suits or silk clothes without water. These are made from naphtha. Naphtha is required for making detergents, nail polish removers, perfume bases, and artificial fragrances. That means naphtha is widely used in the industrial sector. After separating naphtha from crude oil, the temperature is raised again. At a temperature of 180 to 250 degrees Celsius, steam is again produced from crude oil. If we collect this steam and cool it as before, we will get kerosene, which we use as fuel for coups or hurricanes. Apart from this fuel for planes is also this kerosene. However, the main difference between kerosene used in homes and kerosene used in planes is in purity. Ordinary kerosene used in homes contains sulfur and other impurities. As a result, it produces smoke and odor when burning a copy or hurricane. On the other hand, kerosene for planes is specially refined and purified, so that there is no type of impurity in kerosene. In addition, planes fly at an altitude of 30 to 40,000 feet above the surface, where the temperature can drop to -40 to -50 degrees Celsius. Now, at such a temperature, kerosene freezes and becomes like jelly, which will make kerosene unusable. To solve this problem, some additives are added to the kerosene of the plane, which keeps kerosene liquid up to -47 degrees Celsius. After separating the kerosene, the temperature of the crude oil has to be increased again. At a temperature of 250 to 320 degrees Celsius, steam will be formed again. If this steam is cooled, diesel can be obtained. This diesel is the fuel for large machines, including heavy vehicles. After obtaining diesel from crude oil, if the temperature is increased to 320 to 350 degrees Celsius, the steam that can be obtained is lubricating oil, which is used for various purposes, including mobile grease. Furnace oil can be obtained at a temperature of 350 to 400 degrees Celsius, which looks like black mud. This oil is used as fuel for large ships. Not only that, they are affordable. On top of that, this oil has a high energy density. That is, the carbon number is high, which can be from 20 to 70. As a result, a large amount of energy can be obtained by burning a small volume or a small amount of fuel, and this is why this furnace oil is used in large ships. However, this fuel is heated to a temperature of 120 to 150 degrees Celsius and diluted before being used in ships. The last thing to be obtained from crude oil is bitumen, which we know as road pitch. Now, separating all the components one by one from crude oil is a very time-consuming matter. As a result, they are separated together through a distillation column, which is called fractional distillation. The temperature is highest at the bottom of the distillation column, and the temperature is lower at the top. Now, the components like petrol, diesel are separated as a difference in temperature. Another important thing obtained from crude oil is fertilizer, although fertilizer is not obtained directly from crude oil. Fertilizers are prepared through some chemical processes, and those fertilizers are urea and ammonium sulfate. The gas obtained from crude oil is broken down and hydrogen is separated. After that, the hydrogen is reacted with the nitrogen in the air to produce ammonia. Ammonia is then reacted with carbon dioxide at high pressure to produce liquid urea. This liquid urea is then converted into granular fertilizer and used in agriculture. A lot of sulfur is obtained as a byproduct during the distillation of crude oil, from which sulfuric acid is first made. This acid is then reacted with ammonia to make ammonium sulfate fertilizer. This means that crude oil is a very important thing for the current agricultural sector. It increases soil fertility through fertilizer and plays a huge role in global food security. In addition, crude oil or petrochemicals are widely used in the pharmaceutical industry. For example, benzene is used in the painkiller aspirin and antibiotic drugs. Phenol is the main ingredient in paracetamol. Propylene is used as a disinfectant. In addition, this crude oil plays a role in many other uses in the pharmaceutical industry. Finding oil deposits underground is a very complex and expensive process. Geologists try to find out the possibility of oil through various scientific methods before directly digging the soil. First, geological drilling is carried out, through which an idea can be obtained about the sedimentary rocks that can hold oil. The most effective method of oil exploration is seismic survey. First, strong vibrations or sounds are created on the ground. This vibration is reflected by various layers underground and comes up, which is recorded by special sensors or geophones. Later, using this data, a three-dimensional image of the underground is created through a computer. Much like an image of a child in the mother's stomach is obtained through an ultrasonogram. In addition to seismic surveys, gravity surveys and magnetic surveys are also carried out. After these surveys, if the results are positive, a test well is dug at that location. If oil is found from that test well and the quality of the oil is good, and it is confirmed that there is sufficient oil reserve, then commercial oil extraction starts there. Many of you have already understood the usefulness or necessity of crude oil. The extinction of whales was prevented by the discovery of crude oil. Our current industrial factories have become possible due to crude oil. However, crude oil also has dangerous aspects. Crude oil is basically a hydrocarbon which produces carbon dioxide through combustion, and this carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. This means that the more crude oil or fossil fuel we use, the more carbon dioxide will increase in our atmosphere, which traps the heat energy from the sun in the Earth's atmosphere, which is increasing the Earth's temperature, and this is the main cause of global warming and climate change in the long term. Apart from this, crude oil has many health and environmental risks. As a result, there is no alternative to thinking about how to reduce dependence on crude oil for energy. Thanks for watching.